And as much as people say, well, Elon is a billionaire outsider, first, I don't mind that they're billionaires. I like people that are successful. Where's the difference whether they're a billionaire or broke? I'd rather have someone successful. And I like that it's an outsider and an engineer and not a politician and not looking for anything out of the game.
While licking Elon Musk's boots clean and defending the immoral hoarding of wealth that it takes to become a billionaire, New Hampshire's Republican Governor Chris Sununu had the audacity to say that Musk, and by extension other billionaires, have nothing to gain from bribing elected officials to mold our political system to their benefit. And if you thought that was bad, get a load of this follow-up from him.
One of the criticisms and the concerns is that he has billions of dollars tied up in government contracts. You don't see a conflict of interest here?
Everyone has a conflict of interest
But
at some
that's like
level.
a pretty big one.
The guy's worth $450 billion as of today and this month. So I don't think he's doing it for the money. He's doing it for the bigger project and the bigger vision of America. He doesn't need the dollars. He really doesn't. So it's not about, oh, if I get involved in this, I'll get another little contract here or there. That's nothing to him. So I like the fact that he's, in a way, he's so rich, he's so removed from the potential financial influence of it.
If you're losing someone like Dana Bash, you backed yourself into a precarious position. Not only is it devoid of logic to think that Musk and other billionaires who have bought our politicians don't expect a financial return on their investment one way or the other, but it's incredibly naive to think the ruling class's vision for America has anything to do with materially improving the lives of people outside of the small club of ultra-rich people pulling the strings. If anything, their vision of slashing business regulations, crushing labor laws and worker organization drives, mass deportations, and giving unfettered access to the levers of power to billionaire private citizens will only exacerbate the harm everyday Americans are already feeling even more. All these factors, along with the typical racism and bigotry you'd expect out of MAGA and the Republican Party, have come to a head, and a civil war is breaking out among the right between the financial interests of the billionaires who own the party and the party's base, who thought everyone was on the same page about immigration policy.
So while most of us were celebrating the holidays, Elon has been waging a fight with the very people whose voices he spent months elevating. He's been publicly advocating for offering more visas to highly skilled foreign workers via the H-1B program, and he tweeted stuff like this: "I am referring to bringing in via legal immigration the top 0.1% of engineering talent as being essential for America to keep winning. The number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the USA is far too low."
Don't get it twisted. With Trump, Elon, Vivek, and other righty backers of the H-1B work visa program are really defending our provisions in that specific program that treat foreign employees like glorified indentured servants instead of full-fledged workers with the benefits and rights they deserve, allowing corporations to exploit these employees even further.
Elon paid hundreds of millions of dollars to help Trump, who ran on a xenophobic platform of deporting immigrants, win the presidency. And yet, now he can't understand why the rabid base of unrepentant racists that he emboldened continues to be racist. Man Votes for Leopard Eating Faces Party did not think leopards would eat his face too. There's actually a 100% quote-unquote America First incentive to do this. Now, of course, MAGA doesn't care because for them it's more about promoting white Americans than America as a whole.
And that's the crux of the firestorm this debate has caused. Elon and Vivek say the quiet part out loud and spoke about white working class Americans just like how the Republican voter base talks about immigrants, and they didn't like it one bit. What shouldn't be lost, though, is just how out of touch Elon and Ramaswamy are with the party's base, because you could have seen this reaction coming from a mile away. And hey, just a quick break in the action. You should go subscribe to my new show, The Rick Strom Show. I'm going to be interviewing people from sports, music, journalists, authors, sports doctors. It's going to be fantastic. Please go subscribe. Thank you.
We're supposed to have a secure border, and he's allowed hundreds and thousands of people to come through. So, I have to ask the question, why? Why is he doing that?
You think he wants all these immigrants to come through?
I think they have a plan and a purpose for it, and it kind of reminds me of a Trojan horse,
So what is the plan with immigrants and allowing people? I'm not sure I follow you.
I think he wants to change America. If he can change the people, the culture, he can change our country.
Illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of the country. What does that mean to you? It's just allowing I believe it's allowing more criminal activity to take place. You know, it's really important that people are vetted that come into the United States so that we don't have the terrorist activity that we've been looking at, and our country is just kind of going astray, you know, like then there's going to be different viewpoints and things like that, where other countries, they don't have the liberties that the United States has, and we don't want to live like those other countries. We want to have our freedoms and liberties that we have here.
Illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of America. What does that mean to you?
Well, it is, because it's kind of poisoning the pool instead of being in where they can make the same wage as everybody else. Some of them are undercutting that. So we need people that wants to be here, wants to come in the right way.
Donald Trump has said that illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of the country. What does that mean to you?
If you're coming here to do harm, if you're coming here with bad intention, then that's not acceptable. And I was at the border literally down in January. I went to Eagle Pass to observe for myself the crisis at the border in Texas. And first of all, there were 10 dead bodies on the land of the friend I went to visit. And there was a crisis across the board of things. So there's lots of innocent people being hurt in that process. But I also watched men of fighting age lined up, getting their little bus ticket to go wherever they were going. And to me, that's definitely not the best strategy for how you defend your nation. If you're not just defending from outside, but you're defending from within. I think schools are targets. I think churches and synagogues are targets. And my job is to protect kids in schools. And so as a school board trustee and as a mother and as a educator, I don't like the idea that we have invited folks in who may not have good intentions towards our children or our nation.
The commercials that show her saying that, the immigrants are not criminals. They are. My parents came from another country, but they came legally, and it was hard for them. Don't come here illegally and take over our country and then try to change it to be your country.
What's the one thing you want to see him do on day one should he be elected again to the presidency?
Finish the wall. He's got to finish the wall.
Even up here in New Hampshire, that's an issue.
Absolutely. And I really didn't think it was. And now I'm noticing, it's just little things that happen every day. And, then, it's a month and you go, wow, it is.
How do you feel it here? Like, what are the little things here?
Jobs. Jobs are being taken by people who, don't have a social security number. They're not paying taxes. And where do you go? What do you do? But yet other people who want to work can't get in. So it's frustrating. It really is.
Actually, a lot more people think that if you could just literally just shoot people at the border, they wouldn't come anymore. Would you put alligators out there or snakes in the water?
Would we want to be a country that shot people who came across the border then?
Yeah, because you can't just let everyone overrun the country, because you're gonna make it so the whole boat crashes, tips over and sinks. You want to only let in a certain amount, and you want to marry. You don't want, and you want to scream too. You don't want just people to walk in by foot. Right. You want them to come by airplanes. You want them to come by trains. You want to screen them. You don't know who they are before they come in.
So once in a while, if you shot some, you think it would scare people from coming?
Why do people think that we have to be the country that lets everyone in? Everyone's under this brainwashing that you have to let everyone in, or you're a mean person or something.
Well, we were a country of immigrants, right?
You could go back to ancient Rome. The same thing. They let in too many people from around their empire.
But I'm just talking about our country was founded on principles about give us you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry.
But we didn't have they weren't getting food stamps. They weren't getting supported by the government when they came here. They were on their own when they came here. If they did that now, people would respect them more. If they did that, we want the country to go back to how it was.
In what ways? What was it? What did you prefer then to now?
Obviously a lot of things didn't get accomplished because he tried, to close the border and all that stuff. That's important to us, but he wasn't able to accomplish all the way. We like this travel ban to keep America safe. We liked how he was trying to take money away from tell NATO countries to start putting more money out.
When you say the travel ban, the Muslim travel ban?
Yeah, because you gotta keep the country safe, even though if it hurts some people's feelings. You just gotta do it.
Do you think that a bill in Congress that would allow the president to shut down different border crossings as he saw fit or she saw fit, do you think that would be a good thing to have in place?
Yeah, you should only allow only a few people in here, based on merit, but also they should have to be able to take care of themselves. Like that's the important thing that no party's talked about. We don't have any extra money to be given to other people that are coming here. I mean, it's not necessarily doesn't mean that you're racist. It just means you need to take care of your own.
For years now, we've been tracking the bigoted anti-immigrant fervor that has become a main pillar of the Republican Party's policy platform, and you'd have to be completely delusional or wildly out of touch to think that anything would change the base's mind at this point. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.